And welcome to Light Guided. Lisa here to do your monthly energy reading for November. I will be changing the format of my readings for at least a little while my schedule continues to work itself out. For the time being, I will be putting out messages as I'm called to, and I will be focusing primarily on the collective around those of you who consider yourself light workers, empaths, healers of any kind. And the messages will be looking at the collective energy for light workers and also looking at the energy that's happening around the planet. What's the unconscious or the collective unconscious energy that's happening around the world that may need healing or that's coming to the surface for our awareness and our growth? So with that, I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'll do some oracle cards and pull some tarot cards for the energies that are happening within the collective unconscious around the globe. So starting with that higher level energy, really looking at the energy of light workers right now. So Spirit, please give us an overall energy for light workers. What message do you have for light workers at this time? Thank you. Wow, I feel like this is such a powerful message right now. The energy of nothing has gone wrong. This is such a powerful reminder especially for light workers and healers, where we're taking on that energy of all of those around us who are suffering and struggling and in an energy of strife and pain, some even in anguish. There's a great sense of loss for a lot of people. And as light workers, as empaths, as sensitives, healers, we're on the front end of buffering that energy for really the whole planet. We are also on our very own journeys around elevating our spiritual consciousness, doing our own healing work, clearing out our own baggage, so to speak, clearing out energies that no longer serve us. And so on the one hand, while we're in this evolving transformational energy, so is the entire planet. But we're also, in addition to doing our own healing work, we're also being at the front line of buffering the energy for others. So for a lot of people who identify as a light worker, empath, sensitive, healer, the energies can feel quite overwhelming right now. And the important message in all of that, the recognition in all of that, is that everything is unfolding perfectly. Everything is unfolding exactly as it's meant to. Nothing has gone wrong. And as we breathe in, we can come to peace with that, knowing that nothing has gone wrong and that this is the natural unfolding of energy. And even though we experience it because we're in the human body and we have brains that process things and understand things a certain way, even though we have that experience, we can elevate our thinking and elevate our energy into a space of equanimity and peace and trust and true knowing that everything is unfolding exactly in the right way. I like to think of the fact that nature always knows what nature is doing and how to do it. You don't have to tell an animal how to procreate or how to give birth or how to survive in the world. You don't have to tell a tree how to grow. You don't have to tell a river how to flow. Nature it's part of the laws of the universe, and nature just naturally, with ease, there's no effort in that. There's no resistance in that. Nature just follows the flow. Okay, except for salmons. I'm thinking of salmons, floating upstream. But even in that, right? Even in that environment, they're following their nature, their intuition, and they know exactly the right step to take. They know exactly the right motion to make in order to survive and to thrive. So this is a message about trusting in your nature, trusting in the nature of the universe, and allowing yourself to elevate above the fear, above the anxiety, above what appears on the surface to be total chaos, what appears on the surface to be things aren't working out. But at a higher level, everything is unfolding perfectly, because that's what nature does. Let's also pull a card from the Lightworkers Oracle deck. See what additional messages are here for you. We have 3 energies that came out. We have initiation by fire. I may read some of the book on this. These are newer cards for me, but let me see if I can tap into the energy here. Okay, I'm hearing, go ahead and pull all 3 cards at the same time. So we have paradigm shift, the energy of Merkaba, spiritual protection, the energy of initiation by fire. Yeah, so paradigm shift is very much the energy that I was really just referring to. We're stepping through this portal. We as a consciousness, the human consciousness on the globe as a whole, are stepping into a new paradigm. And we're at the beginning of breaching the veil that allows us to step into that new energy. And what's amazing about this and so cool about this, and also hard for us as humans to conceptualize, is that time in the spiritual realm is something that we have a hard time understanding as human beings. So as we step into the beginning of this portal, it actually could be like hundreds of years before we fully move through that portal. Spirit's laughing and saying, no, it's not quite hundreds of years, but we are at the beginning of that energy shift, and they're showing me it's about 25 to 50 years, that initial kind of broach into the opening of that portal, that energy, that paradigm shift. Things that we're seeing right now coming to the surface around racism, sexism, inequality, lack of justice. And by the way, this is across the board. When we begin to look into this energy, we recognize that there's a lack of justice for all of humanity. It's not just for certain groups. Every single human on the planet experiences some form of injustice at the soul level, because we're all evolving. We're all evolving into that next paradigm. And part of that is shifting out of injustice. And that's not to say that there aren't some groups that may be experiencing this more. What I'm hearing is that the groups that are vocal about injustice, the groups that are really stepping forward to call out inequity right now, they are the leading edge of bringing us forward through this portal, through this paradigm shift that will actually allow other paradigm shifts to follow. They're telling me this is a very important message, and recognizing again that we're just at the beginning of that shift. So it's going to be another 25 to 50 years through that opening. They're saying it's closer to 25. Okay, so closer to 25, and then the next 25 years after that is going to be the elevation. But this time in history, they're telling me this is one of those pivotal times in history. If we look back over time, right, back over the last 100 years, there were certain events that have happened in the world, on the planet, that became milestones for the shift that we're now entering. Well, the shift that we're now in is another one of those milestones for something that will come down the road as well. So it's the beginning. It is just the beginning of that. Additional message here, they're showing me that, they're telling me that part of the paradigm shift, and this has been discussed okay, they're saying just a lot of people who are in the Lightworker community are already feeling this, that we're moving from a very masculine energy, stepping into a very feminine energy. And in that shift, there's going to be a lot of changes. They're telling me that over the next 25 to 50 years, we will be seeing a major paradigm shift in leadership. We'll be seeing a major paradigm shift in the way businesses conduct themselves. We will see a paradigm shift in, they're saying across the board, manufacturing, and I'm focused particularly on the United States. There may be a shift moving away from things like import-export and having more of a focus on things made in the USA, like rebuilding this kind of infrastructure in the United States that supports the people here in the United States. And the reason for that is because it's a way of containing the energy. Right now, energetically, the United States is spread across the globe, right? They have no boundaries. It's poor boundaries, and it's created all of these tension points for people in the United States. And there's a need to resolve and solve those tension points so that people in the United States in particular, and this is not saying anything negative about any other country, this is just what they're telling me for the United States, bringing that energy back in is like a reinvestment in the people in our country, because there's a sense that for a lot of Americans, particularly those who are not in mainstream, and you'll understand this message as I'm sharing it with you when I say that, but for Americans who are particularly not in the mainstream, they've been disenfranchised also. People that maybe hold certain beliefs that are not very progressive, that are not very open-minded, that are fear-based. This is part of our community that we've left behind, and they've been left behind in the change of how America has done its politics primarily over the last 50 years. Are there any other messages here, Spirit, for paradigm shift? They're telling me that another important layer of this paradigm shift is, and they're kind of smiling when they say this, they say the children shall inherit the earth. So the children that are being born during this time, these are the children that are going to help walk us into this next paradigm shift, this next evolution of energy. These are the children that are going to have that innate inborn sense of what it means to be a leader from a feminine energy, from an energy of compassion, from an energy of love, from an energy of wholeness and unity. So it's kind of an exciting time watching this energy unfold. It's really quite beautiful. And I'm seeing over the next 25 to 50 years, right, a higher level of attention on the environment, a higher level of attention on, again, really stabilizing communities, making sure people have healthy food, making sure people have access to education and the right kind of health care. And notably, we are just barely at the beginning of stepping through that door. So it's still going to take some time yet. And maybe this video will be around in 50 years, maybe it won't. But they're saying, take the messages to heart and watch for yourself how things unfold. We have the energy here, initiation by fire, the energy of 22. For some of you, this will apply for some of you in the current 3D energy, in the current, for those of you that are Hold on just a second, please. For those of you that have awakened enough to understand what energy we're stepping into in this new paradigm shift, many of you will be seeking out partners, communities, seeking out your tribe in a way you've never done before, bringing people together in a way you've never done before to start changing the way that we're living in the world. So you're, again, leading edge. There are those of you who are specifically coming together with partners. A lot of people use the terminology soulmate. These are soul tribe members. These are people who are coming into your life. For some of you, it's like I see 6 months to 2 years, 3 years, the next 6 months to 3 years. For some of you, it's longer. It's like 5 years where you're evolving and growing and healing. And as you do that, you'll begin to attract your soul tribe. You'll begin to attract your mate, for those of you that partner up with a significant mate. And it's all about doing this work. It's all about holding this light so that we can move in through this paradigm shift, holding this light. They are sharing a message, and this is fairly specific, but they're telling me very specifically for those of you who feel so tapped into the devastation of what's happening, particularly again in the United States. We're just in this energy of a lot of unrest. There's a lot of unknowns happening. At the time of this reading, we're in the middle of a pandemic. We're in the middle of many fires happening on the west coast of the United States. Many, many people being evacuated. Many, many people, having to leave their homes, becoming displaced. Many people losing their jobs. We're at the precipice of an election, which is felt as a very significant turning point for many people in the United States and across the globe. And we're in the middle of a lot of social unrest, people bringing that energy forward. So what they're telling me is that a lot of you as light workers are really tapped into that energy. You're really plugged into it, and you really are feeling this deep sadness, deep loss, deep compassion, and it's draining your light. They want you to know that you can hold a higher light. You can hold a space of a higher vision and a higher vibration without going into the experience of feeling the loss for others. You can have a space of compassion while holding a higher vibration. Because what's happening for many of you is as you're tapping into that low vibration energy, it's just draining the light out of you. It's draining draining the life out of you. And this can happen very unconsciously. We, especially as sensitives and empaths, we're not always aware of how we're connected into other energies. It takes a lot of practice and a lot of work. So definitely be mindful of that. And if you have practices that allow you to clear your own energy, that allow you to stay tuned into staying at a higher vibration, practice that. They're showing me a lot of crystals right now, so there may be many of you that really resonate with crystal energy, crystal healing, energy work, things like that, and making sure that you're using those tools to energize you. They're showing me this beautiful image of just this enormous quartz crystal, large, like 6 feet tall and 2 or 3 feet wide. Just this beautiful. They're calling it a tuning fork. There's a tune. Okay, so what they're telling me is that as you're listening to this message, they're bringing forward the energy of that crystal for you to bring forward healing. So they are bringing forward that higher vibration, that higher energy, that higher healing for you now. So just feel that energy coming forward for you, raising your vibration, allowing you to lift up out of the energy, the lower vibration energy, and just lift into that higher vibration where you feel whole, perfect, and complete. Beautiful. And finally, they're bringing in this energy of Merkaba, spiritual protection. This kind of has a similar resonance of that crystal energy they were just bringing in. Just one moment, please. They're bringing in some very precise messages here. So again, a little bit of a continuation of the message that they just brought forward about self-care, tapping into, finding ways to tap into that higher vibration, that higher vibrational energies, so that you are holding a higher frequency. And they're telling me for some of you, this will connect for some of you, not for all. But for those of you that connect with worlds like Lemuria or Atlantis, I don't channel those messages specifically, or at least I never have. We'll see how the reading goes. Maybe I'll get surprised. You never know. But they're showing me that there's very specific energy in those places for some of you. And if there are some of you who resonate with those energies, that now could be a time to be tapping into those energies to really, really start circulating. They're now showing me that as you sit in this higher vibration energy, many of us who do light work and that type of thing, we want to bring healing to the world, and we have done that very traditionally in very one-on-one kind of ways, where we sit with a client one-on-one and we provide energy healing or support. They're showing me that we are also transforming as light workers. We're transforming into these beacons that are also like these crystal, not resonance, crystal, it's like a radio station, like the crystal frequency. And as we move into that collectively, as we practice and raise our vibration collectively, that vibration draws energy from a cosmic level, moves through the collective energy of light workers at that higher frequency, that higher vibration, and actually transmutes the lower level energies. So in other words, what they're sharing here is that we don't have to necessarily do one-on-one healing with people. The energy will start to move through us in a way that the whole planet begins to heal collectively. Like we're being elevated into a higher level of frequency, but also a new paradigm for light workers in terms of healing. Some may be called to do one-on-one healing, and that's absolutely perfect. And for those that are not called to do one-on-one healing, there is an opportunity to continue to create and generate the energy between light workers, the energy, that collective energy, that light worker energy, that is that higher frequency, that higher vibration, that also brings healing to the planet, that brings healing to the world and to the people around us. And that's another way of preserving our own frequency without having to get down into the energies that we get so caught up in. So that's a really beautiful message. Let's see if they have anything else here for you. What messages do you have, Spirit, for light workers, healers, and empaths to help ease the way? To help ease the way. And one more, please. Thank you. We have the energy of abundance, the energy of trust, the energy of patience, and the energy of purity. Beautiful. Give me just a moment to tap into this, and they're sharing with me here that as far as easing the way, part of that is the remembrance. Part of that is the remembrance that Spirit is always working through us. We are extensions, as human beings, we're extensions of Spirit. We are not separate from Spirit. And Spirit is constantly working on raising our vibration. Spirit is a constant energy and a constant source of abundance and trust. And part of what we are challenged with in the human form is that trust, is that sense of surrender into that larger spiritual energy. It can be very challenging at times. And also being patient, right? Again, from a timeline perspective, time in the human sense can often feel very slow. We can get very impatient. But they're saying here, recognize that everything is happening in the perfect timing. In the perfect timing. So part of what helps to ease our way is tapping into these kinds of energies, recognizing that we have that spiritual support that's always anchoring us and connecting us to divine, and also clearing out that any energies that are not aligning with that highest vibration. All we have to do is ask. It's nothing more complicated than that. They are sharing with me, for some of you, that there are challenges around the energy of abundance. And again, that's primarily because there's so much low vibration energy happening around fear and, how will things unfold? Where will things go? How will I know I'm okay in that? And they are just telling me as a reminder that the universe is infinite possibility. The universe is infinite abundance. And part of our process, or part of our work, is staying connected to that awareness and trusting that. And this, I know this is something that even I struggle with, and I practice regularly, staying in connection with Spirit and doing my energy work and all of that. And still, it's sometimes hard to fully surrender. And they're showing me that with this collective, that's an energy that is present as well. That challenge of fully surrendering. What does it look like to fully surrender? And part of what they're showing me is when we fully surrender, we are allowing anything from our past, any beliefs that we have, to no longer drive us, to no longer be the motivators for the way that we exist in the world. And letting go of that can feel scary. It can feel disorienting. And nobody wants to purposefully step into an energy of disorientation. We want to feel grounded and connected and whole, and being connected to that love and compassion. But they're showing me the image of the Fool card. They're showing me the image of, it's like just breathing and releasing and just letting yourself go into the abyss. And they're showing me, yes, as soon as you release that into the abyss, you're held, you fall upon this soft cloud that just supports you. And you can just be at ease there. You can just relax there. And of course, finally, patience. There's another message here with patience. Give me just a moment. This is a very specific message for some of you. Some of you may be toiling over details, toiling over getting things just right, toiling over It's like I'm seeing, crossing T's, dotting I's, working really, really diligently, overly focusing. I'm seeing, I think it's is it the 6 or the 7 of Pentacles, the energy of work, being so overly focused on Pentacles, so overly focused on what's in front of you, that it's bringing about unnecessary tension, unnecessary confusion. And they're saying it's okay to let go of some of those details. Allow yourself to just be held by spirit, just a little bit. They're saying just a little bit, just enough to take the edge off. There are some of you that are it's like you're trying to fight against the anxiety of the world by being overly focused in this way. And in doing that, you're actually perpetuating that anxiety. So allow yourself to be held in the heart of the divine. Allow yourself to be held in the light of the universe. And just breathe. They're saying just breathe. I'm going to pull a heart and soul message here for you. Thank you, Spirit. And this is actually just the exact message that just came through. You are currently too close to see things clearly. Detach a little and you will start to see things from a higher perspective. By emotionally detaching from this situation, a simple solution also becomes clear. Very good. All right, it's been my pleasure to bring these messages to you. I hope that you find something here that allows you to feel more connected to divine, allows you to feel more at peace, to feel more grounded, and a sense of trust, a sense of knowing that you are held in the arms of the divine, and you are an extension of that divine energy. And you are allowed to rise to a higher frequency so that you are not mired in the fear of the world. You are allowed to sit in a higher frequency and hold that frequency for yourself and for others. And that is what continuing to bring that healing forward. So we are in very powerful times and very, very interesting and powerful energies unfolding. It's our privilege and our honor to be on the planet at this time, truly. I know there are other healers out there who say things like, we're here on purpose. We're here, the timing of our being physically manifest on the planet is on purpose. It's intentional. Like we're not here for nothing, And I believe that. We're here on purpose. And with that, I will close out the reading. I will send you much love and light. And if there's anything I can offer and support, please feel free to reach out at any time. There's more information in the description box below. With that, I send you many blessings. Thank you so much. Be well.